Imagine waking up, now not the following day, now not even inside the next century, however inside the 12 months 3906. That's exactly what passed off to Paul Amadeus Dino of Diedenbach. Paul Amadeus Dino had experienced some form of time slip that precipitated him to go to sleep in the 12 months 1921 and wake up inside the year 3906. A humble Swiss-Austrian teacher whose lifestyles took an unimaginable flip. Through an unexplained phenomenon, this man traveled millennia into the future. Simplest to come upon a world that confounded comprehension. What he saw terrified the world, but how did Dino grow to be there? And more importantly, should his tale be genuine? Paul Amadeus Dino's life before the adventure. Paul Amadeus Dino turned into an unassuming guy, a Swiss-Austrian teacher born into modest situations in a Zurich suburb. Unfortunately, his fitness turned into frail from a young age. He suffered from bouts of lethargy and different mysterious illnesses that perplexed medical doctors. By 1917, he became diagnosed with encephalitis lethargica, an extraordinary and poorly understood neurological situation. This slumbering sickness regularly left him in extended states of paralysis and drowsiness, which in addition complexed his teaching profession and seriously restrained his social life. Everything changed for Dino in May 1921. It happened for the duration of one in all his language lessons. Midway through his lecture, he began to experience faint. His circumstance deteriorated swiftly, and within hours he slipped into a deep coma. For over a year, Dino lay subconscious in a clinic mattress. His frame turned into nonetheless, however, his thoughts, it appears, something however dormant. What came about throughout this time became not anything brief of amazing. Dino later described experiencing a phenomenon he known as a focus shift. He claimed his soul had in some way left his frame and entered the mind of any other, a physicist named Andreas Northam, who lived inside the year 3906. Confined to his clinic mattress in 1921, Dino was simultaneously dwelling as a person in a distant future, surrounded with the aid of towering towns, unimaginable era, and a society in contrast to something he had ever recognized. This superb occasion could forever alter Dino's life. When he awoke in 1922, he had no way of proving his claims, however he commenced meticulously documenting the whole thing he had seen and skilled. What he recorded might later ship shockwaves via those who study it. Quite certainly, it mixed the first rate with the ominous. The mysterious cognizance shift hinted at a reality in which time became now not linear but fluid, a revelation that set the stage for the terrifying glimpses Dino would unveil from the year 3906, the awakening in 3906. When Paul Amadeus Dino opened his eyes, he turned into not inside the acquainted confines of a 20s sanatorium, however international that rejected all logic. He awoke in a sterile room with partitions manufactured from a material that regarded to be translucent crystal. It radiated a soft, ethereal glow. For a second, he believed he had handed into the afterlife. Strangely dressed people surrounded him, and they spoke in a language he failed to understand, melodic yet totally alien. As a linguist, Dino instinctively attempted to decipher their speech. He caught faint similarities to English and Swedish, however it became unlike something he had heard earlier then. Disoriented and vulnerable, Dino gestured for a replicate. What he noticed sent shockwaves through him. Staring again became the face of a stranger, a man in his mid-40s with sharp features, pale pores and skin, and piercing blue eyes. He later learned that this was Andreas Northam, a physicist whose body he now inexplicably inhabited. Dino tried to explain his identity in broken German to the attendants. It became most effective while he cited Switzerland inside the year 1921 that a hush fell over them. One of the older physicians leaned closer and informed him in halting German that the year become no longer 1921. It became 3906. Still grappling with disbelief, Dino turned in to help to his toes and guided to a window. What he noticed outside left him breathless. Colossal skyscrapers stretched beyond the clouds. Their surfaces shimmered like polished gemstones. In the sky, motors zipped through the air, defying gravity and moving at impossible speeds. The ground beneath became lush and green, with pathways winding via gardens that appeared to glow faintly, as though alive with energy. There turned into no sign of pollution or overcrowding. Everything seemed meticulously deliberate, harmonious, and advanced past his wildest dreams. As Dino struggled to recognize his environment, he turned into brought to a peculiar tool that outfitted without problems in his hand. Called the Oregon Schwager, it emitted transferring three-dimensional pics, narrated with sound and song. This piece of era, paying homage to a modern tablet, turned into use to teach him approximately this excellent new global. Yet every query he asked only deepened the thriller. How had he emerged as right here? What become this area? And why did the humans around him maintain relating to him as Andreas Northam? The futuristic clinic itself became unlike something Dino may want to have imagined. Crystal walls acted as each windows and interactive monitors, providing sweeping perspectives of the cityscape and delivering streams of records in vibrant hues. The air was perfumed with a subtle floral heady scent, and a soft hum resonated within the history as if the very surroundings had been alive. Everything seemed designed to evoke calm and surprise. Yet Dino's thoughts were a long way from peaceful. He couldn't shake the sensation that he did not belong in this region, that this changed into a few cosmic mistake. But whilst fear gripped him, he commenced to notice something else, an undercurrent of unease inside the faces of these round him. This turned into no normal global. And the truth about its life would quickly unsettle him similarly. The concept of consciousness shift Paul Amadeus Dino's arrival within the year 3906 turned into not merely a physical anomaly. It became an event so uncommon that even the superior minds of the destiny struggled to explain it. After days of careful remark, Dino changed into summoned to fulfill aged guys draped in flowing white gowns. These figures, called electors, held positions of outstanding significance on this society. They were the keepers of profound medical and philosophical understanding, which include theories approximately the nature of time and focus. It was all through this assembly that Dino changed into introduced to the concept of a focus shift. The electors defined that point, as humanity traditionally understood it, became an illusion. Unlike a linear thread transferring from beyond to future, time existed as a tremendous interconnected web. Every second, past, gift, and destiny exist simultaneously. What human beings perceived as the glide of time become merely their limited perspective within this boundless continuum. The electors theorized that Dino's awareness had by some means detached from his frame in the course of his coma in 1921. Instead of dissipating, it had traveled alongside this temporal web until it found itself in the body of Andreas Northam, a physicist in 3906 who had been declared clinically useless following a twist of fate. According to scientific facts of the time, Northam's heart had stopped for 15 minutes after a catastrophic laboratory incident. Advanced strategies were used to revive him, which includes the fast cooling of his brain. The electors believed that this second of near loss of life had created a completely unique window for Dino's awareness to enter Northam's body. They defined cognizance as an ethereal strength, unbound by way of the constraints of physical space or time. This strength may want to theoretically go beyond its host body underneath positive rare instances. For Dino's case, they defined became any such extremely good occurrences, a phenomenon the electors had only encountered in theoretical research and the occasional anecdotal account. The fusion of Dino's 20th century recognition with Northam's 39th century body became not like something that they had documented before. For Dino, those revelations had been as unsettling as they have been illuminating. The idea that his mind were severed from his body and flung throughout millennia defied his comprehension. He struggled to reconcile the perception that his identification could exist independently of his physical shape, not to mention inhabit the existence of another man. However, the electors regarded interested in place of anxious. They considered his scenario as an opportunity to explore the mysteries of existence. The electors also discovered some other tantalizing opportunity. If Dino ought to navigate this new life, there is probably a manner to reverse the recognition shift. Time, they explained, had a manner of correcting itself, and with the right situations, Dino should go back to his very own era. To aid him, they added him to Stefan, a near friend of Andreas Northam, who could assist Dino integrate into this futuristic society at the same time as working to uncover the reality approximately the shift. As Dino grappled with this remarkable fact, he began to word something unsettling about this reputedly utopian global, a glimpse of what lay beforehand that hinted at the terrifying revelations he would soon discover, mastering approximately the destiny. Dino immersed himself in the Oregon Schwager, eagerly eating statistics approximately humanity's journey from the early 21st century to the ER 3906. What he discovered turned into both mind-blowing and deeply unsettling. He started piecing together the milestones that had formed this remote future. Each revelation changed into a window into the struggles and triumphs of a species getting ready to transformation. The Oregon Schwager discovered that inside the 21st century, humanity confronted crises of overpopulation, resource scarcity, and escalating political tensions. By the early 2000s, environmental degradation and unchecked industrialization brought about sizable famine, drought, and economic crumble. Attempts to mitigate those screw-ups only fueled new conflicts as countries competed for dwindling resources. These struggles culminated in an enhanced race that noticed the proliferation of nuclear guns on an unprecedented scale. Despite the chaos on Earth, humanity reached for the celebrities. By the year 2100, technological advancements made the colonization of Mars feasible. Over the subsequent century, approximately 20 million human beings migrated to the Pink Planet and built thriving settlements. However, this optimism changed into brief-lived. In 2265, a catastrophic natural catastrophe, believed to be a planet-huge seismic occasion, devastated Mars, and it worn out the complete populace and obliterated the infrastructure. The dream of colonizing different planets changed into abandon and humanity's attention lower back to Earth. The Oregon Schwager additionally chronicled one in every of humanity's darkest chapters, the Great Global War of 2309. Triggered through many years of geopolitical tension, this struggle unleashed a wave of nuclear destruction that ravaged Europe and parts of Asia. Only the Baltic and Scandinavian areas emerged extraordinarily unscathed, though their survival got here at a super fee. For 80 years, the world became mired in chaos, with whole populations displaced and infinite lives misplaced. In 2396, a desperate humanity sought order amid the ruins. The formation of international authorities referred to as REST marked the give-up of the ancient technology and the start of modern-day history. REST turned into set up to unify the fractured remnants of civilization and save you destiny wars. However, it quickly had become clean that this new authorities became a ways from ideal, dominated by means of the rich and powerful. REST imposed strict manage over the populace. They suppressed dissent and maintained order through authoritarian means. For nearly 200 years, REST's grip on humanity remained unchallenged. But as society rebuilt itself, a new wave of thinkers, scientists, philosophers, and humanitarians commenced to rise. By the 26th century, these highbrow leaders step by step changed politicians and commercial enterprise magnates in positions of strength. Their attention on good judgment, ethics, and the collective excellence brought about profound societal reforms. This marked the beginning of a protracted transition closer to an extra equitable and sustainable way of existence. As Dino absorbed those lessons, he could not assist but feel an experience of dread. While the Oregon Schwager painted a vivid image of humanity's resilience and ingenuity, it also laid naked the mammoth fee of progress. Billions had perished in wars and screw-ups, entire civilizations have been lost, and even the triumphs like the colonization of Mars had led to tragedy. The International of 3906, for all its advancements in utopian beliefs, seemed to keep secrets even greater traumatic. What Dino would quickly find out about the evolution of humanity and the forces that shaped this society might make the devastation of the beyond appear almost trivial, the evolution of humanity.